Sorry, it's so slow.
Oh, I think it's
Okay,
working.
you're good.
Thank you. Good morning.
I think it's on.
I am Delegate Deborah Davis, Chair of the Charles County Delegation. Today is February 6th. This is our second meeting. We are going to get started right away. I understand in order to accommodate our guest speaker today, Donna Retzloff, from Springdale Center in Charles County, if you don't mind, you can get started.
Okay, thank you. Well, it looks as though I'm frozen, but I'm not truly frozen, but by the photos. So hopefully you can hear me okay. So good morning. I am really excited to be able to talk with all of you this morning. I am Donna Retzloff, the Executive Director of Springdale Center. My passion for the last 40 years has been being part of an agency that does very proudly provide services and supports to some of your most vulnerable citizens in Charles County with developmental disabilities. And our agency, well, we've called Charles County home since 1967, which most of you probably know. Yes, nearly 60 years strong. And it's amazing for me to think I've been there 40 of those 60 years. So I have really seen the growth and the support, and it's just been amazing. As we entered the 2026 legislative session, I really appreciate the opportunity, or 2027, really liked getting the phone call to have the opportunity to provide very critical information regarding the governor's budget and services through the Developmental Disability Administration. And as most of you know, that's referred to usually as DDA. But I think what you really want to hear a little bit about too is the impact that it will have on individuals that are supported in Charles County. Some of you may recall, or all of you may recall, last year's DDA budget services were subjected to one of the biggest proposed cuts in the governor's budget. We were one of the top two being cut. FY 2026 did mean actual budget cuts for us in the Developmental Disability Administration as a whole. However, we just went out of the gate running, and as a community, we were very grateful to the legislators and many of you and the advocates who rallied and who worked so hard to restore a bunch of that funding for us for those proposed cuts. Last year, so many legislators, regardless if they were on a budget committee or not, advocated to help us restore those critical funds. No matter how we looked at it, I mean, these cuts would directly impact people with disabilities in every district, everybody's district, their families, and their employees. All the funding could not be restored, and 5 counties in Maryland experienced larger cuts than all the other counties. And the reason for that is because there's a geographical difference done with calculations. And so I did want you to know that Charles County was one of those 5 counties that experienced a higher cut than the others. In Charles County, the community agencies like Springdale and the other agencies that support people with disabilities, we support collectively approximately 500 people through various services that are funded through DDA. So this year's budget, I guess, is where we're looking at for the focus to be and a little bit of attention or a lot of attention drawn to. So as we start the session, I just thought maybe it would be helpful for me to kind of recap what is in the governor's budget. This year, the release of the budget yet again proposes significant cuts to DDA, the Developmental Disability Administration. The proposed budget cuts include $150 million in general funds to our services, and that's equivalent to $300 million in total funds with the matching federal dollars. The proposed cuts will have specific impacts on citizens across the entire state, and more importantly for all of you, knowing people in Charles County with developmental disabilities. So to get specific into 2 of the cuts where you'll see the impact if we're not able to restore is for people who require more intense services, whether it's for medical or challenging behaviors. And they require 1-to-1 support or even in some cases 2-to-1 support. And the state refers to this as dedicated supports. So at Springdale Center, historically, our history starting, all the way back in the 60s and 70s, we were the provider agency that provided services to folks with the greatest need. So we know this will have a huge impact on a lot of the people that we support specifically. They're very complex and they require a higher staffing ratio to be supported safely. So what the budget is proposing is a much stricter enforcement for approvals for these people. And just kind of, taking it all in when the budget first came out, I can already identify right away these changes. They'll raise the concerns about our staffing stability, administrative burden. It's going to be an incredible amount of time to prove that these people still need these services that they've always need, and the financial viability for providers such as Springdale and other providers within Charles County. It also makes it more difficult for people with very significant needs to get supported by an agency if the funds aren't there. For example, I was just going to kind of give you an example of when we say dedicated 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. Jane is a young woman who needs a staff with her 24/7. She is a cancer survivor and she's had 95% of her stomach removed. She's developmentally disabled and has had multiple critical medical diagnoses. She lives in a home that we support in Charles County with 2 other participants. I can tell you, she loves her roommates, she loves her home, and she loves her community. However, she has to always have staff with her for the medical and the physical support. She's very fragile. She's a resilient woman who has beat all medical odds hands down. Um, she is, she's just this joy if you were to meet her. But she does need the dedicated staff to support her. We're very concerned that the changes proposed in the budget would make it very difficult for her to win this fight and maintain the staffing levels she and others like her need. Without these levels of support, we can only imagine long hospitalizations or long-term care facilities, large group setting facilities, which she nor the other individuals with the significant needs deserve, because they are capable of being a productive member of their community with support. So this particular state cut is estimated to be $54.2 million in total funds reductions and $27.1 million in general funds. And then to piggyback on top of that is another proposed cap. It's a proposed cap that will affect the same group of people. Would be a budget cap. So for example, somebody may get residential services from a provider and day program services or employment services. So that there will be a cap placed for that person's total services. It would limit the amount of services that they would be authorized in their person-centered plan. And that plan is something that is developed at the agencies with their advocates and with their case managers and their families and them determining what they really do need to be safe and healthy. Again, an individual with high intense support needs for medical and or behavioral needs would reach this cap, especially if being supported by 2 programs, meaning they need a place to live and they need a place for during the day. That estimated impact cut is $132 million in total funds and $66.1 in general. We're working really closely with the Maryland Association of Community Services, and I know many of you know that. That's MACS, it's a state association, and Laura Howe is the executive director of that. We're working very closely with MACS as well as other advocates in Annapolis on these issues and proposed cuts. I am, and continue to be very committed to ensuring services and supports for people across the state, but more specifically, us and all of our folks in Charles County, that they're not compromised. I just really want to assure you that your advocacy and the advocacy of the legislature will continue to assure, that these people, very vulnerable, are provided the level of support they need. I do understand Maryland has a very serious budget challenge ahead. To the extent we could minimize or reduce the cuts to DDA, it would go a long way. We're going to continue to work with the governor's office, you guys, other leaders, and come up with alternatives to the proposed cuts, kind of like we did last year. That would minimize the impact for these people. We're asking that everyone continue to be mindful and tuned in to the potential cuts and offer any support that you can. Um, and I don't know, just in closing, I, as the CEO of Springdale and Springdale Center, and all of my staff, we're very, very proud of the footprint that we have made in your county, Charles County, in our community. And we're equally proud to know that the Charles County delegation has supported success of this footprint for many, many years. There's a lot of history. We're probably even more than that. I can just say I'm just so appreciative that all of you truly care about the lives of people with disabilities, and I've seen it and I've heard it. And I look really forward to working with you during the session, trying to answer any questions you may have that come up. If I can't answer them, I'll get the answer for you. We have a large group of constituents and that are really trying to help make this happen. So I don't know if that's like enough of a background and kind of like where we were last year and now where we are this year. We're trying to stay excited and focused for the folks that we support, but I do want you to know that your agencies in Charles County are doing an excellent job for people with developmental disabilities.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you, Donna. As
mhm.
we advocate, it would be very helpful if we had actual numbers of our Charles County residents, how are you helping them so that we can advocate
Okay,
for our community. So that's really important. So if you have any
okay,
other information you'd want to submit, make sure we
okay.
get it, okay?
So we know it's a total of about 500. We have a waiting list, which we would have those numbers, but would you like to see them broke down by services, like residential versus day versus support, or just total numbers of people?
I
Because that would be around the 500.
I think
Yeah.
however we can best advocate, you,
Okay,
you did say that Charles County had got a different percentage than everybody else. So that means we have an opportunity, an obligation to make sure that we argue numbers,
right, right,
people,
right.
services. We need to be able to have the information to
Okay,
do that, okay?
okay,
I
sure,
don't
absolutely.
see any hands. Delegate Patterson, you have anything? You looking for your button?
No, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
I
Very
just
nice
wanted,
to see you.
well, thank you so very much. I'm certainly aware of what you do. I've had a chance to visit the center multiple times, and I just appreciate the fact that you're doing a job that only special people can do. The compassion, the understanding of the staff as they work with the patients or your clients is phenomenal. And Donna, you have been there for so long because Springdale and your name, they're almost synonymous. So we appreciate you very, very much.
Oh, thank you very much. I would have to say ditto for all of you who do the job that you do. It does take special people to do that as well. So I think we just each have our passion. So thank you very much for those kind words.
And Donna, we'd like to introduce you to our newest delegate, Delegate Odom, who's here. And Delegate Odom, if you have anything you'd like to add, but this is Donna.
Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. I did see your name come across and I did say, boy, I have not met that gentleman yet. Um, maybe I'll get to see you in Annapolis. I'll try to come by your office and introduce myself in person.
I'd be
Um,
happy to entertain you at any time you get free, as long as I'm not in a committee meeting or something, but I'll make sure that my chief of staff reach out to you and we can connect.
No problem. Thank you very much. And I'd also like to extend an invitation to all of you. When you're driving by Radio Station Road across from La Plata High School, feel free to stop in anytime. You come unannounced. We are who we are. It's kind of like some days the dishes are done and some days they aren't. That's how we operate. We're just real people just there to support real people. So anytime you want to stop in, we'd love to have you.
Okay,
Great. If I could, if you could enter your information in the chat to me, I'll make sure to record that and get some communications going between us, and we'll connect.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll do that.
Thank you.
okay, Donna, I don't see any other questions.
Okay.
The other offices are being represented by staff, but they don't seem to have any questions. We'll let you go handle your personal business,
Okay.
and Godspeed.
All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It
All
was
right.
nice meeting you. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. What you have in front of you are the legislative proposals and their updates. You also have, and we would like to get all the updates done, submitted by Monday. So if we need to discuss those and what we need to do, we need to do that by Monday. You have the top 4 legislative bond initiatives that have been submitted. And I am going to turn it over at this time to Ariel Moore to update you about District 9.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chair Davis. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So just a brief update on District 9. Right now, our guest count list is at 48 registered participants. And then our guest count list for our senior sit-in chat District 9, we are currently at 8 participants. Just a couple of reminders. If anybody wants to upload pictures, I received lots of pictures from Delegate Patterson's office. So thank you so much, Kara and Julia, for uploading the pictures. Delegate Davis, you also have pictures uploaded for the slideshow as well. So if anybody else wants to pour into pictures that they have from around the county, that would be greatly appreciated. The deadline for that is February 20th at 5 p.m. so that I could then begin to put everything together. The next update is for the nominations for, since it is Women's History Month, if you have any women that you would like to nominate to be present so that we can honor them at the district night, please be sure to submit that by February 13th. That is next Friday at 5 p.m. All delegates and senators should have received their posters, their postcards, as well, and digital flyers for district night and for the senior district night as well. A new update that we just got. Oh, another shout out also to Kara's office, Delegate Patterson's office. Kara, thank you so much for sending it over to the Charles County Charles County libraries as well. I had the pleasure of going to the meeting today with the Reginald Lewis Museum. So I have coordinated with them so that they're able to bring some items that represent Charles County and then also other pieces as well so that they could be a part of our district night. That's just an added piece that just came about this morning. So we're super excited about that. They said it'd be great. That's something that they could definitely do. I'll confirm by the end of the week to make sure that the date works with them as well. And then also on the list, if anybody has any other senior facilities that we do not have listed, please send us an email. These are the ones that my staff was able to research and find in the Charles County area. So if there's anything else that we need to add to the list, please don't hesitate to give us a call or shoot us over an email. I am still waiting on information from Senator Ellis' office as they are handling the bus transportation. They're going to do 2 buses, one for the senior district night and then one for the district night starting at 6 p.m. So we're just waiting on location that they're going to pick up and drop off at. And then we're also waiting on pickup and drop off timeframes. And that's all I have. If anybody has any questions.
I don't see any hands. Have you, but I do have a question. Have you reached
Okay.
out to Sharon? Can you reach out to Delegate C.T. Wilson to see whether he would be interested in sponsoring a bus? We do have,
Okay.
it has to come out of campaign funds. We do have some estimates and some providers. So if he's interested, would you do that for me?
Yes, ma'am. Just one more bus.
Yeah, Ari, Yeah,
I would say one more bus for the later
the
option.
later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
Understood.
please.
No worries.
Thank you.
Is that it?
That's all that I have.
Okay. Thank you, Ariel. District Night seems to be coming along well.
Yes.
Thank you guys for your patience. We were able to come up with the bifurcated district night, which is awesome. It's probably something we should do from now on, because as we talked about earlier, seniors want to get back home before it gets dark. So we're excited about that. Is there anything else? Any other questions, concerns? I don't hear anything. I guess
Are we all
that's-
good with the votes and everything in terms of the CCD bills and the LBIs? Do we need anything else signed?
No.
LBIs are all set to go. All LBIs have already been dropped.
Awesome. Thank you.
Those greenbacks have been collected and they're already over and signed for. We do have one hearing. We're waiting on one blueback has been dropped and we're just waiting on a hearing date, and that's for HOA. I just checked the MGA website system to see if they provided us with a date, and it's not uploaded just yet.
Okay. Look, look, we all have other stuff to do, so I'm not gonna hold you if there's nothing else. A motion to adjourn? Do I hear one?
I so moved.
Delegate Odom, that leaves you.
Oh, I second. Am I the second motion to adjourn?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, thank you so much. All right, you guys, next meeting of the Charles County delegation, as usual, will be after the Southern Maryland delegation on March 6th.
February 20th.
February 20th.
Oh, I skipped. February 20th it is. Thank you so
Okay.
much, you guys.